Hey everyone, so in this short clip I'm going to show you real quickly how to add a hosted domain or a hosted subdomain to a hosting account. So first of all I'm going to start off right here. I'm already at my account page. You can see all my products here. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to go to my hosting plan. I'm going to click the little gray plus mark option right next to the web hosting, and then it will populate and show me my hosting plan right there. On the far right hand side I've got the little green launch button. To get into my hosting plan I'm going to go ahead and click on that launch button, and that's going to pop up my hosting control panel, and you can see it says hosting details here, a new window. Alright, so to add a hosted domain, you can see on the right hand side here my account snapshot. I already have 9 domains there, but I want to add another one. So I'm going to go to the More drop down in my toolbar right here, and then I'm going to click on where it says Hosted Domains. Alright, and that takes me to a new window that shows my hosted domains. You can see I've got a few already there. If I want to add a domain, I'm just going to click this black button here that says Add Domain. And then it'll pop up this window, and it asks me what domain I want to add and what folder I want to point it to. Now the differences between the folders here, and this may not seem so significant at first, but if I'm having more than one domain on the same hosting account, more than one site, I want to keep the site content separate so that the site pages don't bleed into each other and I can run completely different sites. The reason how this ties into the folder options is that in order to keep that content separate, I need to have a unique folder name for each different site that I want to run. So let me go ahead and put in a domain here. Let's see. Let's do test.e2support.com. Okay, so there's my domain. Now I need to designate a unique folder name for it so that I can keep my content separate. So the folder name I'll choose is, we'll just keep this easy and say test e2 support. Very good. Alright, now you'll notice that I typed it all in lowercase right there. And the reason this is significant because I'm running a Linux hosting environment. Linux, as opposed to Windows, is case sensitive when it comes to folders. So you want to make sure that you have all of your folder names all in lowercase. Okay, great. So I just need to click the OK and we should see it begin to create. And there we go. We got our test.e2support.com. You see it's pending setup. Generally it takes a bit of time to finish setting up. It should take anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes to finish setting up. And then after that I could start uploading my content and getting the site up and running. So you can see that it's fairly simple to do. Nothing too hard to do here. And very good. Alright, so the other thing that I want to make sure that I do is I need to have the test designated on the E2 support domain and make sure the IP address is pointing correctly. So what I'm going to do here is right now I'm going to go back to my home button so I can see my hosting plan details. And right now what I need to do is I need to find the IP address that I need to use. So scrolling down here, on the right hand side I see the section that says server details. So you can see I've got my IP address and then a dedicated IP address. The dedicated IP address is the static IP address. That one is not going to change ever. If I end up migrating between servers or whatnot, then the regular IP address may change. So I don't want to run into an issue of having to change my IP addresses in the future, so I'll just use the dedicated IP address. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Very good. So the next thing that I would do is I need to make sure that that IP address is designated on my domain. So I'm going to go back to my account page. I already had it up in a tab here. And then right here for the domain section, I'm going to click on launch. And that'll take a minute to come up here. Okay, good. So you see the domain section here, and I've got 2 domains in my account. What I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these domains. Since this is just an example, we're not going to worry about the fact that it's not the E2 support domain. I'll just pick one of them here. So let's pick that one. I'm going to click on it. And then I'll be brought to a page that says domain details at the top here. Now to get to the IP addresses, what we're going to do is this scroll bar here on the right hand side. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down a little bit, and then we'll see a section that says DNS Manager. That will let us actually get to and edit the IP addresses. So let's click on the little blue launch link. And then it'll take us to the editor here that will allow us to change it and edit it. Alright, so for the subdomain, it's going to be in the A host section, and the subdomain is test dot and then my domain name. So I can see that I already have that set up right here. The only thing I need to do is make sure that my IP address is correct. So you can see the points to the IP address 50.63.42.47. Let me just make sure that that is the static or dedicated IP address. And if it is, I should be in business. 50.63.42.47. Yep, that is correct. So in this case, I actually don't have to change anything. If I needed to, I would just click on it. It could let me change it. And then I would just click the Save Zone File button. And that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. The only thing that we're waiting on now is just to make sure that my domain becomes active. And like I said, that can take anywhere from like 10 to 30 minutes. But I can just come back to the More section, click on Hosted Domains to check on that. Yep, so it's still pending. So I'll just give it a little bit more time, and then I can start working on my new site. One other thing is you'll notice that when I do click on the Add Domain button here, it gives me the option to put in the domain and the folder, just like we were looking at earlier. It gives me this option because, let me show you, the actual hosting plan I'm on is the Deluxe hosting plan. Now the difference between the 3 levels of hosting plans offered, the Economy, Deluxe, and the Ultimate. The Economy plan, if I had been on the Economy plan, it would only let me point domains to the root folder here. Economy plans will only let you have domains in one folder. Now, if you're choosing between the hosting plans out there, there really isn't a reason to ever go with the Economy plan. Any type of website that you're going to be building, you want to do it semi-professional. Really the way that you're going to want to build a website, and we'll talk about this more in later tutorials here, but you're always going to have a development domain, so you can test and see what the changes that you're about to implement will look like, and then you'll have your actual domain. Because you want the information to be separate when you're testing a new change, you're going to need to have it in a separate folder. And of course, the Economy plan really doesn't let you have a separate folder for another domain. Um, you really, if you're considering a hosting plan, you want to go with the deluxe, and actually, I would always go with the ultimate because the ultimate comes with a free SSL security license. Um, the reason why it's important to have a SSL security license is because you want to keep your logins to the hosting plan completely secured. And that's what the SSL security license does. You'll notice that any of the pages that you navigate to will have that HTTPS, letting you know that page content is secure. That is because it has an SSL certificate installed on the site. And like I said, the ultimate plan comes with a free SSL certificate. So if you're really deciding on which type of hosting plan you want to go with, if you're going to be running any type of login, whether it be WordPress, a forum login, or even just a regular site to have a PayPal link on it, you always want to have an SSL certificate. So the reason why I'm running a deluxe is because I already had an SSL certificate, and that's indicated by my dedicated IP address. Or if you were to test that out, just go to, let me pull it up here, esquareddomains.com, and we should see that SSL security come up. So we can see that if I typed in https:// we can see it's locked down and it's secured. And this also shows you that it's secured and verified in security. Alright, so that's just a little bit about the hosting plans. We talked today about how to add a domain, the differences between the folders, why you need to have a different folder name, differences between the hosting plans, and then how to set the IP address. So I hope this really helps you out. Like I said, there's going to be more information, more tutorials included in the future, but it's just the beginning. Alright, thanks guys.